What's up, everyone? Andy from WagerTalk.com. Thank you for joining us for Life in the Fast Lane. Final race of the NASCAR season is coming up. We do not have a Formula One race, so it's all about NASCAR. We'll recap both Formula One and NASCAR races, and then we will have our best bet at the end of the show. We are at 59.6% for betting for this year in auto racing. We pretty much have a guaranteed winning year again. We're up 39 units, so could not be happier. It's just been a fantastic year of betting. Appreciate everybody joining in with that. All picks will be at WagerTalk.com. I'm going to give out my best bet for the NASCAR race, and I don't know if I'll have much else. The books have learned their lesson on this championship race. In years past, they would put out some really dumb lines where they would have a head-to-head where it would be one of the guys in the championship Final Four matched up against somebody that's not in the Final Four, and it was just easy money. But they're not doing that anymore. So this may be just my best bet for the week. So it's coming up at the end of the show. Let's do a Martinsville recap. Denny Hamlin wins stage 1. Denny Hamlin wins stage 2. Christopher Bell wins the race. But Ross Chastain wins the day. No doubt about that. So the race starts. Larson and Elliott get out to just great starts. I mean, it looks like it's going to be those two all day long. William Byron struggling mightily, which was odd because he's the Hendricks car. Hamlin just flies through the field as he normally does at this track. Gets by Larson and Elliott to win stage 1. Kind of a worrisome moment with Tyler Reddick retiring from the race with a head issue. Said he's never felt like that before. Brad Keselowski spins into the wall. Joey Logano's car catches on fire. Hamlin and Elliott get out front and look great. Larson kind of fades back just a little bit, so it looks like it's the Hamlin and Elliott show. Cole Custer and Bell look solid. Austin Dillon has a very hard hit into the wall, and Bell flies to the front to get to the lead with Elliott, Blaney, and Hamlin following. Caution comes out with about 30 laps to go. Then you have some of the guys stay out on old tires. Most of the bigger name guys, they come in for new tires. Chastain and Hamlin start bumping and banging with 20 laps to go, and you're just thinking, oh, man, here we go. Chase Briscoe is in the lead with old tires, and then, man, his tires just fall off completely. Brad and Bell catch up. Bell makes the pass around Briscoe to take the lead, and then we all know what happens next. Ross Chastain's car just doesn't have it. He's outside the playoffs unless he makes a big move, and he pulls off the video game move, puts the car into fifth gear, full throttle around the wall to pass Denny Hamlin and move into the championship. Obviously, you guys have seen it all. I've heard rumors, and I'm sure we've seen it on social media about talking about eliminating that move from NASCAR. There's no way that you're going to be able to regulate that move. It won't happen. It's impossible. Several guys have tried this before. This is the first one that's been successful. Kyle Larson has tried this. I believe Carl Edwards tried it way back when. I cannot remember the race, but this is not the first time that this move has been attempted. It's just been the first time that it's worked. And it's very risky. It's very dangerous. You wouldn't do it. I mean, there are so few circumstances that you would even try it. You would have to be on certain tracks. You would have to be a certain amount behind. You would desperately need it to happen. So it's such a rare occasion that somebody would try this move that I don't see any reason why they would try and ban it or anything. So just an incredible move. Kudos to him. And you got to tip your cap. He got the best of Denny Hamlin there towards the end of the year. The Stenhouse Award, I mean, we're going to give it to Ross Chastain. There's no doubt about it, but we have to give a couple of honorable mentions. In the Formula One race, Daniel Ricciardo takes out Tsunoda out of the race on a horrible move. He had no business trying to make that move. Why this one pops up on the list is we had a bet on Tsunoda over Gasly, and that was going to be an easy winner until Daniel Ricciardo's dumbass tried a hero move. And then all they do is they give him a 10-second penalty, and I believe he won driver of the race because he made a bunch of whatever. It was a dumb move, took out one of our guys. In NASCAR, BJ McLeod's car catches on fire. Joey Logano's car catches on fire. But Ross Chastain successfully using a video game move, full throttle on the wall, to get past Hamlin to make the Final Four has got to be the winner. There's no way we can not have this win something with this show. So we're giving the Stenhouse Award to Ross Chastain on that incredible move. All right, Final race, NASCAR. We're going to Phoenix. They raced here back in March. I would not take anything away from that race. The cars were so new, and there's been so many adjustments, and things are so different that I would be very, very cautious if you're looking at the Phoenix race. The other thing that we have is we know that guys are going to kind of move out of the way and let the top four just kind of decide the championship, decide the race themselves. We see that a lot. If you can search around your sports books and you can somehow find like a Kyle Larson versus Joey Logano type of bet, what we're looking for is we're trying to find a guy that is outside the championship versus a guy that's inside the championship. I haven't seen it yet this week. We'll see. Just search your sports books and just take it, because these four guys are going to finish 1, 2, 3, 4 unless there's a wreck or a pit stop violation or something. So it looks like the odds for the championship, Chase Elliott is plus 230, Christopher Bell's plus 300, Logano plus 400, Chastain plus 400. I don't really predict outright winners. I would say that your best value in this is going to be with Chastain or Logano. You get, two of the four guys at 4-1. My guess would be Christopher Bell probably has the most momentum, but I would not I'm not putting any of my money on it. I'm not going to bet on that. So I'm just going to look and see if I get a good head-to-head on that one. I would be a little worried about Chastain is a little bit worrisome. His car was not set up right, and he really, really struggled throughout the race last week. So it's not a track that's very similar to Phoenix. There are a couple similarities. It's a shorter track. It's less than a cookie cutter. But I would be worried about Ross Chastain. That being said, we've seen him and his team be willing to roll the dice to try anything. So you can't rule it out. But I would say if I'm looking at a head-to-head matchup like Christopher Bell versus Ross Chastain, I would lean Christopher Bell. But on DraftKings, that particular matchup is minus 140. So I won't go anywhere near it. So again, just if you're trying to handicap this race, it's so tough. You've got guys that are, Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch are using different pit crews than they did early on. Guys are leaving teams. I would just be very, very cautious about looking at the early race at Phoenix to try and handicap it. So we'll do a best bet here at the end of the show. Let's take a trip to the Slipstream and let's talk about the Mexican Grand Prix. Man, boring race. Max, Sergio, Leclerc, and Sainz start on the softs. The Mercedes are on mediums. Max, great start, gets out to a big lead. No surprise there. Sergio Perez comes in on lap 23. Slow pit stop. Carlos Sainz, slow pit stop. Hamilton puts on hard tires. George Russell has a lead and says he wants to end up on the soft tires at the end of the race. He comes in and gets hard tires anyways. Several cars stay out. Vettel stays on these soft tires forever. I don't know how he didn't get a puncture in those tires. Those things were running on fumes. Russell and Hamilton don't like the hard tires after a few laps. No surprise there, but I'm not really sure what else Mercedes was supposed to do. I applaud them for trying to do something different, but we've hardly seen these hard tires work at all this year. Ricardo, we talked about it, makes the ridiculous move taking out Tsunoda. Alonso's car dies with a few laps left. That was so frustrating. If you had both Alpines to finish, or you had Alonso in a bet, that was just brutal. So virtual safety car comes out, and that's the race. Pretty boring. Just Max runs away with it again. The medium tires work for him. Even Hamilton came over the radio and was like, his medium tires are better than our hards. So there's really not much to go over with this race. The championship is obviously all but decided. We're going to do the Brazilian Grand Prix next week. So I will be here to talk about the Brazilian Grand Prix next week. So we want to finish off strong, and we want to keep adding to the bankroll. I'd love to end the year over 40 units for auto racing. So let's do a best bet for the NASCAR race. And I'll tell you, I'm going Kyle Busch top 10. Kyle Busch had a horrible race at Martinsville, finished 29th, but the three races before that at Miami, Las Vegas, and Charlotte, 9th, 3rd, and 3rd. He loves Phoenix. Traditionally, he can be a terror on this track. He was 7th here, earlier this year. I know I said don't pay attention to the earlier race at Phoenix this year, but he's got good results here at Phoenix, and he's just kind of been relaxed and chugging along and off of everyone's radar. and you can get this at minus 120 on DraftKings right now. I'm worried about Tyler Reddick. He's normally a top 10 guy, but with the issue with his head, I'm worried about that. You're going to have your top 4 guys in there, but there's not a lot of motivation from anybody else. I don't know who's trying to make a statement. So could be a pretty tame race outside of the top 4, and someone like Kyle Busch and Martin Truex, if they get those setups right in the Gibbs cars, they're going to be up by the front. So minus 120, I think, is a really good price on Kyle Busch top 10. That's going to be my best bet, probably my only bet. So go ahead and lock that in. All right, guys. I hope we have a great championship race in NASCAR. Next week, we'll be doing Formula One to finish out the year. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on Life in the Fast Lane throughout the year. Thank you all for all your comments. Leave your comments and picks below. You guys know I love seeing what you guys are on. Let me know who you think is going to win the championship. And shout out to Ross Chastain for giving us the memory of the year. Hopefully this race is going to be just as exciting as the last one. So good luck. Let's have a profitable weekend. I'll see everyone next week on Life in the Fast Lane.